Welcome to Doesn't Coaching. Today we're going to discuss and explore why fixing your team is not the solution for improving team results.
Hello, I'm Steluța Leo.
And I'm Gabriel Trandafirescu.
We are professional coaches working with leaders and their teams to unleash their superpowers and maximize results. If you're new to our podcast and channel, follow us, subscribe, and get notified whenever we go live. So, when team results are not as expected, leaders are asked to fix things, right? The first things they look at is people, who's achieving and who's not. Sometimes things don't seem to be moving in the right direction, even with a superstar on board. Because one person's efforts are not enough to sustain high performance in the long run, for sure. We all know that. Multiple factors influence team performance. And as leaders, our role is to guide and nurture each of the team members, as well as support and improve their coherence when working interdependently toward achieving collective goals. So, here is what we're gonna cover today. Team results should not depend on the results of only one individual. And if they do, there's a systemic issue that needs to be addressed. And I'm looking forward to talking about the systemic part in this talking point. The second topic is going to be, why does replacing team members or adjusting processes and systems do not do the trick? And the last subject is the bad idea of having team results relying on a superstar. So, Gabe, let's dive right into it.
Yes.
Why team results should not depend on the results of only one individual? And if they do, how do we address? What is the systemic thing that we're talking about and how we address it?
So, as a team, we know that team results depend not only on adding up the individual results of team members, but compounding them into a bigger thing, which is the team results. And for that, we need each and one of the team members to feel engaged, to feel motivated, to feel, seen and heard and all that stuff. And if there is only one person who attracts all the attention and all the energy of the leadership, basically, and mainly, and the other team members, uh, all the rest of the team will feel unsupported, will feel not heard, will feel that they do not belong there, or their work is not important. And because no matter how big the person that attracts everything is, and how much of the team results they bring in, it's not enough and it's not sustainable. Because as we will move forward to the other points, we will see that this will bring in even more destruction to the team, and even lower results in the long run. So, and this goes back to what you said at the beginning, Steluța, regarding fixing. And I think the main thing we can address here and put it out there is that a team is not like a machine. And we hear this more often than we'd like to from leaders. Hey, something is broken in the team, and we need to fix this. So please come, coaches, and fix this. So it's like we cannot go in and replace parts of the team, which are members, and we're going to see that why it's not a good thing. And also by fixing systems or processes without addressing the systemic issue is, again, not a solution, and we're going to address that too. So if you want to dive into this systemic thing, we can do that now. Okay.
Yeah, let's do that. But before doing that, I just wanted to talk. When you were talking about, leaders asking coaches to come in and fix things, I was thinking about the fact that the image that came to mind was, of a money making machine, right? So teams are not only money making machines, right? Teams are, and we emphasize so much in our show, teams are made of people, and when everything in a team happens around a superstar, as we called him or her, you need to remember that the other people in the team, are people who have their own feelings, and there's also frustration and a lot of friction that can be created because of that. And this is something that, as we will discuss moving forward with the topic, and we will talk about the systemic thing, replacing people, it's not like in my car, I had my car fixed the other day. It's not, it works better by replacing people. Sometimes bringing the right people can help improve, so it will not be only maybe one superstar. Maybe you will bring another superstar on board, but there are the deeper layers of a team and of an organization that need to be addressed, and this is the systemic thing that Gabe was gonna talk about.
Yes, indeed. So of course, people have feelings, and their feelings and emotions, and how they are as people is reflected in the team performance, and everything going on in the team energy, and their dynamics. Of course, this is, I would say, the most fundamental level, and the systemic issue comes in when um, this underlying field of energy and team dynamics, and how people get together and work together, is not functioning correctly, because there are other uh, uh, collective, fundamentally, I wouldn't say wrong, but dysfunctional, maybe, things that are not working. Basically, some of them we approached in previous episodes, like values, for example, right? If the team doesn't have coherent values, and they have conflicting values, that obviously the team dynamics is affected. If the culture, that also we addressed in previous episodes, doesn't provide a very fertile ground for expressing themselves, of making mistakes and learning from them, and helping each other and supporting each other. Again, this is part of a systemic issue, and it cannot be fixed by fixing a process, or fixing, or bringing in another CRM or whatever, or replacing one person because they talk too much, or they are too much out there. Maybe they need help. Instead of replacing them, hear them, and make them know, let them know that they are heard, and help them, because if they are talking too much, or if they are, you know striving for attention, it means there is something that they need, and you as a leader and as a team can help them. Please.
I just wanted to add that before hearing them, you also need to ask them. And this
Mm,
is something that many leaders don't even take the time to do. When a person has an issue, the example that you just shared, of a person being too out there, it's too loud, he or she is too loud. It's Ask them, just ask them.
mhm,
That's a thing that leaders need to learn, and maybe we'll have a conversation, another episode in the future, on asking the
mhm.
right question, not necessarily the right questions, but putting in the effort of asking, and then literally listening to what your people have to say. So sorry about that, but I really felt that this needs to be addressed somehow.
It's an excellent idea that complements everything that we talked about before. And of course, as leaders, it's so critical to be able and to know what and when and who to ask, and really listen, as you mentioned. So, coming back to that, all these parts of the systemic issue cannot be fixed by improving processes or systems or replacing people. And also, replacing people while not uh, addressing the systemic issue will put the people in the same roles. So, even if you think as a leader that some person is the issue, why the team is not working, you will very probably discover that putting another person in the same role will bring in the same issues, because if it's a systemic issue, it needs to be addressed at the systemic level, of the fundamental level, regardless of who is having what roles. because that person will inherit their everything that comes with the role, including the problems, and the things that haven't been issued, haven't been addressed. So that's why replacing somebody is not going to fix anything or improving processes and stuff like that.
Awesome. So let's move on to the second point that we wanted to cover today, right? And understand a bit, you touched upon it, of course, now when you talk about, maybe go a bit deeper in why does replacing team members and adjusting processes and systems don't do the trick. And
Mm-hmm.
we're going to keep talking, maybe not necessarily, keep track of the talking points, but just flow around them. And
Mm-hmm.
you love most than all of us here at Rosenthal Coaching talking about systems and the underlying dynamics and the
Mm-hmm.
systemic issues that we see in organizations when we go in and we start evaluating before working with them. So why doesn't it work? Let's talk
Because
about that.
yes, because when you think as a leader that a certain person is why things are not working, it's a fundamental uh, not appropriate position to start with. That's because when a person manifests some issues, and that's why all the team has repercussions because of that. It's like having a cold, and you're giving Advil, but the cold is just a symptom, and that's what that person does, is reflecting a symptom from what's not working in the team. Or maybe it's a hint, it's not the exact thing that's not working, but if you replace that person, it's just like you're giving Advil, but the systemic problem, which is a weak immune system, for example, or bad food, the bad diet habits and stuff like that, they don't disappear, and they will come back again regardless of which person comes in that place. So as a leader, when you see that there is a recurring issue that appears from a certain person, you need to see where is that coming from. Not just, okay, this is a problem, I don't want to deal with it, let's change it to this person like it's a part of a machine. That's why you need to go and see at the most fundamental levels what's actually what needs attention, what needs to be improved.
Okay, and how do you do that? How do you go and see? Let's dive a bit deeper into this, for especially for new team leaders and new managers who are not used to maybe difficult conversations. They're not
Mm-hmm.
used to maybe dealing with challenging situations. They're still learning to ride the wave. They're at the beginning of their career. How do you uh, go about that?
Yeah. So apart from calling us and saying, "Hey, Steluta and Gabe, come over and work with us to fix this fundamental issue, not fix the team." Uh, let's say you don't want to do that, or you don't have the budget, or whatever. But you mentioned something very important. You said something about difficult conversations, and I would say, as a leader, conversations are difficult only when you and the other team members cannot say in the open, by direct and open communication, what's what do you feel about this issue, what do you think the issue is in the first place. Because many times people say, hey, I think this is the issue, but when you dive deeper and have an open conversation, you find that's totally different direction. So the issue is totally in another place. And this could be the key as a new leader, or even as a mature leader. Maybe you're not used to having this difficult conversations because they are open and everybody can put everything they feel and they think that needs to be addressed. But this is the most basic thing, and also the most powerful thing that can happen without any other external support as team coaching or leadership coaching. So just go out there, have a meeting with the team, and when it's obvious that things are not working, because sometimes there are specific KPIs that can show you that, right? Things are not going as everybody would want to. Put it out there. Have a team meeting and say, hey guys, let's address this. Let's put everything on the table. What is it? What is it that you feel is not working? And have everybody have their input and their own they honest thoughts without any repercussions, without just make everybody feel safe to say what they feel that the issue is, and maybe you will find things that you didn't even think about. And in many cases, this actually the case, right?
Yeah, I was nodding because when you said create a safe space, that was exactly what I was thinking. I think it is one of the things that it is important for leaders to manage to achieve within their teams is to create that safe space, especially when they're having difficult conversations in which people do feel safe to open up and to share whatever is they consider the issue is. And there was another thing that I wanted to share when you were talking was when you ask a person, when you start a meeting like that in which you're uncovering what your team members think the issue is, I think it is important to also remember to ask what's working for the team and maybe start the conversation with what's working for you guys before moving on to what's not working, because this way you create a connectedness between you and you start the energy with an uplifted vibe that will open up the space for digging deeper into what's not working. Because there is and I think we've noticed that in many conversations, once you start going down the black hole of what's not working, the energy goes down and people start becoming frustrated and they start talking and talking and talking. And we tend to forget when we're in conversations like that to focus on what's working also. So this is this was something that I wanted to add because there is this tendency. So creating a safe space, starting maybe with the positives, with what's working for the team, and then going deep into and allowing space for your team members to talk and to open up and to share without interrupting them, without saying, this is not what I think, this is not what it is, I think it's that. Create space for each individual member of your team to express their ideas and to share whatever they think it is the issue from their perspective, and then moving forward and finding out ways to come to a consensus and maybe create an action plan towards improving whatever is not working and whatever the systemic issue is in there. So what if the team, so moving towards the idea that we wanted to circle around with having a team that has a superstar, what happens when the issue that comes up, that surfaces, is that the team is frustrated, your other team members are frustrated because only one person gets to be the hero of the team? Why is that a bad idea first, right? To have your team results relying on a superstar. And is there any way that the team dynamics can be improved somehow based on these difficult conversations that are held between team members and their leadership?
Yes. I will start with maybe something not very intuitive, but I think it's very relevant. I think everybody who watches this and at least have heard of basketball knows about Michael Jordan, which is like a basketball god, and he not only made basketball so big, but all the sports. He was the first, I would say, superstar that pulled after him everything. All the superstars that we see today in any sports due a bit of their fame and fortune to Michael Jordan, because he was the first one to get to this level. And the reason I'm bringing him into discussion is not only because I'm a huge fan and I'm a geek for Michael Jordan and what he did for sports, and but only how he was as a human being. And because he was a superstar, I want to address his role in the Chicago Bulls team and pinpoint the fact that it took 7 years from the time he was already a superstar for the Chicago Bulls to win their first championship. 7 years. So even having him already a superstar in the team, they couldn't win the championship. And that's, I would think that's the most relevant example of why work needs to be done to equalize and to work on the coherence of the team members. So this superstar can really put all the other ones into the light and show them and help them show their own qualities and their own superstars in themselves. And maybe it's not a coincidence, pun intended, that Phil Jackson, who was the coach of the team, is also the highest awarded coach, and he won 11 championships, the highest number of championships with Chicago Bulls and Lakers. It's because when he started working with them and helped them get together as a team and work with them through many, unconventional, at the moment at least, approaches, including meditation. And they have a meditation room, and they got together as humans first, and they work for them to equalize their energies, and things that might not even have nothing to do with sports, at least at the time. Nobody thought about that, but it took years to equalize the team dynamics so that they could, the superstar can also pull the other ones together and work together to have the championship. 7 years. So um, I think this is a relevant example, because for 7 years he was still a superstar, but he couldn't achieve anything. Like the single most achievement for any team in NBA is to win the championship, and they couldn't do it. So it needs to the leader to pay attention, whether they have a coach or not, to pay attention to make everybody put their best into the teamwork, and not serve the superstar. Not be a servant to the superstar. And that's what in many teams happen, because they think, oh, we have this superstar, they're going to achieve all the results for the team, we're not going to bother anymore. And all the attention and energy goes to the superstar, and all the other ones are underachieving, and that's a bad thing.
That's true. And I would say that, these team leaders need to learn to empower each individual member to become a superstar in themselves. Because we need to remember that when a person was chosen to be part of a team, that person was chosen for a certain skill set, for a certain mindset. So definitely the person has everything it takes to become a superstar.
Mm-hmm.
So it is our roles as leaders to empower these people to become superstars in themselves, to give them not only the tools, because many organizations, I think we had an episode in which we talked about this, when something happens, we look at it, the tools and the resources. You don't necessarily need to give them only the working tools, the CRM, the marketing budgets and everything, and resources, the funds for whatever activities to achieve the superstar level, but also the other tools and resources that work on their mind and on their mindset, and that work at a human level, as you said, understanding that people need to take time to silence and be quiet and recenter themselves into a meditation room. And even if there is no such thing in your organization as a meditation room, still acknowledge that people need these things. They need these tools to be brought for them, because these are tools that help us as individuals transform and grow and become the superstars that we were fortunate to be working with in our team, alongside, or like the superstar that we are. So I think these are really important aspects to be considering. I loved when you mentioned Phil Jackson saw the human, worked on the human part of these team members, and we so much emphasize this because we are humans, most and foremost, before anything else,
Hmm.
before being leaders, before being team members, before being, uh, brothers, sisters, sons, daughters, wives, husbands, and all the rest. We are human beings, and we all have inner challenges, inner struggles. We all have our emotions, and our emotions drive our actions many times. So paying attention, learning a bit, I think, understanding, and maybe we'll talk about that in a future episode, understanding that we all have the ability to change and to grow as individuals and overcome various barriers that we have internally, because we are human beings, and we do have these emotional states, and we do have all these sometimes when you work with a superstar, on all the lights are on that person, he's on the spot or she is on the spotlight, there is a lot of frustration. And I've been in a team like that, in which there was a superstar, and there was a lot of frustration within the teams. I can speak from my own experience, because we were all doing our best, only that nobody was paying too much attention to the rest of the team, but they were paying attention to the superstar. And I happened to be in the position of being a superstar in a different team, and the leadership there was totally different. The leadership was towards encouraging everyone to become their best versions of themselves. So I think these are really important things that you brought to the table. And I think I my tendency, and probably hopefully this is a good tendency that I have, is to always go back to the fact that we are all human beings. We're not machines. We're not money making machines. We're not numbers in a spreadsheet. We're all human beings that need to be paid attention to in the process of working within a team and doing our best to achieve results. So, Gabe, I think we covered. Is there anything that you want to cover before, that you think we should have covered, or you want to add to the conversation?
Yes, I was thinking related to what you said about the role of the superstar in the team. I would like to add to that as a leader who has a superstar in a team, I think one key approach should be to have that superstar know that they are also an informal leader of the team. Any superstar is it's an informal leader in the team, so that if the superstar acknowledges that as a leader, what's the main role to make the other ones become better? That's the main role of a leader, to help each team member to become better, to help them grow, right? So as a superstar, you acknowledge that and you help the other ones also become superstars in their own way, in their own skill set. Then of course together, that will not take away your rank or your results, but it will only improve the team results. So it's only I only see benefits from a leader acknowledging with the superstars their own informal leadership role and helping the other ones bring up their A game.
I love this, and I think we've watched together the what was the name of the show on Michael Jordan, The Last Dance, right?
Yeah.
I think we've watched together, and if you guys didn't have a chance to watch it, or it happened that you missed it, watch it. See that Michael Jordan did acknowledge, and he was fully aware of his leadership role. That
Mm.
he was aware that his actions and behaviors are the ones that influence, can influence his peers.
Yes.
So if you didn't watch it, guys, go watch The Last Dance. It's amazing, and it speaks about leadership so much and about what does coaching
Mm.
uh, um, towards success mean also. Um, Gabe, I think we've covered everything that we wanted to cover for today.
You
Um,
did.
yes. So thank you everyone for watching. Make sure to subscribe, to follow us on YouTube, on LinkedIn. Write to us if you feel like there is anything that we can help you with, either at the leadership level or in your team in regards to team coaching. Um, until next Wednesday, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, stay safe, stay well, and have an awesome rest of your week. Bye, everyone.
Have a good one. Bye. Thank you for watching.